Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people, life's about learning lessons. Some people have learned more lessons than other people. Some people are more grown, more mature, less lazy, less egotistical, less bossy and controlling. Some people have learned how to play nice with others. Some people have self-discipline within themselves to not indulge in their more shadowy ways of being, and some people haven't. Some people just try to hide that they have those shadowy traits and characteristics and hoping you won't notice. uh, Capricorn energy can have to do with what we view as building a legacy in our life. Some people think it's all about money and materialism and status and image, or indulging themselves. That's the legacy, or the money is the legacy. Some people think it's about love. High vibe energy is about being balanced, about wanting to pursue some of the things in the world that we want. We'd all like stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But are we also wanting to be in loving, nurturing relationships, have a balance of the things of the world, but meet our deep emotional needs? Are we willing to be just and fair? Are we willing to act with character and integrity, treat other people the way we like to be treated? Or is it all about the end goal and who cares who gets hurt, Just depends. So we're going to look at it from a couple different perspectives, and we all tap into Capricorn energy. So listen to where you're at in the story and how you harness your Capricorn energy and how you think other people harness their Capricorn energy, what they are motivated to put work and effort into in their life based on themselves and how they feel internally. Okay, what's going on in Capricorn energy? We have the Fool card and the King of Wands, and the reason these came out is because of the Five of Cups and the Lovers card. We'll all repeat past patterns of ways of living our life until we learn the lesson we were meant from living our life that way. Come into some insight, some understanding, some healing. Some people don't want to take, if we're going to move from one way of living life to go to the next way of living life, we kind of have to look at the good things about the way we've been living our life, kind of look at what we don't like about some of those things, and then be willing to be kind of bold and brave enough to put our own creative spin on it, that I'm going to take the good things that I've learned from a past life experience, and I'm willing, in the energy of like hope and faith and belief and love in myself, to think that I can put my own creative spin on it, of how to make things better. Otherwise we just keep repeating an old pattern and things aren't working out, but we keep doing the same thing anyway. At what point are we willing to take some creative inspired action from love and belief in ourselves that I don't want to keep repeating the same pattern? Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is insanity. But some people like that old pattern. Even if, some people are self-defeatist people. I don't want to take action in love. If I do love, I run a risk of getting hurt. So I'm okay in the Five of Cups, where it maybe isn't everything I wanted. The Five of Cups is Scorpio energy, and some people, in the way they harness their Scorpio energy, is I don't want to do deep, meaningful relationships. I run a risk of getting hurt. And so I'm not inspired by love. And two cards of Aries energy, which in how some people harness their Aries energy, which we all tap into all the zodiac signs, either in a more high vibe or a more worldly or shadowy way. Some people have decided, I'm not inspired by love. It didn't work out before. Now I'm just about myself. I just want to indulge myself. And I don't even care if it's love. I just want to where I don't have a risk of being hurt. I don't even want to be in relationships with people who are inspired by love. Even though I could love them, I could get hurt. Some people will do anything to prevent themselves from being vulnerable where they could be hurt at a deep core emotional level. And so it can be, I'm motivated to just make my life about indulging myself. It might be a more emotionally shallow, superficial relationship or way of living life, but I'm okay with that because I turn my back on love. And if I get in relationships with people and those people are more bold and brave and confident and have belief in love, initially we can all get in a relationship because we're sad something else didn't work out. And we get in relationships with other people who a relationship didn't work out with, and we're both kind of in the same boat. The only thing is, one person might be motivated and inspired by love, and the other person's motivated to be kind of more about themselves and defensive to being hurt, and they're more about indulging themselves and kind of a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. And the other people are motivated by love. And then we have a problem in a relationship, right? For the people that are on the same page, they both are defensive to love. They both are kind of, we're either motivated and more inspired by hope and faith and belief in love, or we're kind of in our ego and our defensive nature. For the people that are in a relationship where they're on the same page, we're both defensive to love, we both haven't healed from the past, it makes us fearful and defensive to love, we both could be deciding to make our life more about indulging ourselves in these things of the world, or in ourself, in our ego, in our defensiveness, or be in a relationship that's more about money or materialism and status and image, and we're both willing to settle for a more emotionally shallow, superficial life, then those people are probably going to keep moving forward together. And if there's people that are in relationships where they could have gotten in relationships because things didn't work out, but they're both motivated and inspired by love, then those people are moving forward together. And then we kind of have the people that could be trying to figure out right now what kind of relationship they're in. What motivates and drives you? What motivates and drives me? Is this my truth? And they'll find out if they're going to work on the same page or not, or if they're on different pages. And I think for some of the people that have already been in kind of these mismatched relationships, those people are going on a new journey. They could be sad that some of the people that they wish things would have worked out with, whether that's friends, family members, romantic relationships, if those people aren't doing love, well, I wish you peace. You go live your life the way you think is best. And I'm motivated and inspired by love. And I have taken inspired action to deal with my regrets of the past. So I'm not fearful of love. And if you haven't dealt with your past pain and heartbreak and you're still defensive to love, well then, you have some lessons to learn. And until you are inspired to kind of love and believe in yourself and take action to deal with your past pain and heartbreak that makes you defensive to love, then I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. So then we have the Ten of Swords and a card not showing itself, which is the Devil card. And the reason these two cards came out is because of the Eight of Wands. People can harness their Sagittarius energy differently. What are they motivated and inspired by? The people who like to live more from their mind than their heart, and they want to keep living their life that way, they're going to keep moving forward living their life that way. I think those people would maybe try to hide from the world that they do have their fears or their insecurities or their self-limiting beliefs that they don't want to deal with. And they're hoping, that they can have things go in their favor, not dealing with those things, because they're not willing to harness high vibe Sagittarius energy, which is to be inspired to, from the one wand of the King of Wands to the Eight of Wands, it's kind of, what do I view as victorious that I am willing to stand up and defend? And some people are going to keep moving forward defending their more defensive or worldly or self-focused way of living life. And other people have been in relationships with people like that, and they don't view that as a victory worth defending. And they've let go of that. And they've realized they don't want to move forward with those people anymore because those people were kind of hiding that they were operating from a more shadowy way of being, not being just and fair, truthful, honest, authentic, not motivated to look at life as an adventure to be lived, not willing to face their fears and to choose love. So it's like the high vibe people are cutting out the people who are aligned with their more shadowy nature. And some of the people, we have to detach from that within ourselves. Our past pain and heartbreak, our fears or insecurities, we can try to ignore it and move forward kind of more in ego. I don't have to deal with it. I can just move on. But it affects the decisions that they make in their life and in relationships. It's like trying to look like they've completed a cycle and they've moved on, but they're going to be the same person at the next job or the next relationship that they were in the last job or the last relationship because they really haven't healed from it. It's like I wasn't inspired to learn to love myself because Aries energy also is about the self. And if we love ourselves, we take inspired action to work through those past pain and heartbreaks so that if we don't give up on our dreams of love. The energy of love is the energy that we all thrive and grow in best. But some people decided, nope, now it didn't, some relationships didn't work out the way I wanted. I'm done with love. It's all about me. And then they're going to move forward living more from their mind than their heart, and kind of a more immature energy of kind of just indulging themselves in a relationship and trying to hide from people that they have these issues they haven't dealt with, and hoping the other people will just have their own issues that they don't deal with and will move forward with them, or will ignore the fact that these people are kind of emotionally shallow or superficial or more driven by money or ego. And the people who've already dealt with people like that did see the truth. They completed a cycle. They were sad that some people weren't willing to move forward with them, but they were inspired to heal and love and believe in themselves and not give up their dreams, and to see that if they're not ready to move forward in that way, I wish them peace, but I choose love. I see I can't move forward with those people because they haven't detached from their pain, their heartbreak, their more worldly view of life, their self-view of life, their defensive view of life, their more immature, indulgent view of life. And the high vibe people were willing to detach from those things within themselves that kept them living their life a certain way or indulging people that were kind of in shadowy energy. And they've healed. They're no longer in toxic energy. I can love people and not be in a relationship with them. I can love people and they're a friend, they're an acquaintance. I can love people, they can be my family members, and, I don't really care to hang out with you that much. I can have people that I was in romantic relationships with that I had love for, but if they weren't willing to kind of deal with the issues that they like to keep buried, maybe beneath the surface, then I don't want to move forward with them because they're not free to give and receive love. They're still defensive. They're still immature. They're still in their pain and heartbreak. They haven't dealt with it. And if I have a dream I want to have come into reality based on justice and fairness and truth and love and authenticity, they're not there yet. So I wish you peace. But I'm not going to keep indulging someone and moving forward with someone who's not motivated and inspired to deal with their issues that make them not be just and fair and authentic and loving in a relationship. And that's why some of the other people aren't moving forward. We have this dualistic nature. We probably have people in our life that are loving and encouraging, not trying to manipulate us, want us to grow to our full potential. And then we can have people in our life who don't want us to love and believe in ourselves and grow to our full potential or live life any differently because they're not. And if we're ready to move forward in life differently, we might have to detach from some of those people that want us to keep living our life a certain way because they live their life a certain way. And some people have love for those people and they're not willing to move away from those people. They would have to kind of detach themselves from some of those people and even see the truth that maybe some of those people don't have their best interests at heart. Maybe some people like those people being sad. Maybe those people like them being bossy and controlling, or letting them be bossy and controlling, or immature and impulsive, or materialistic, because some people, they live their life whatever way and they want them to live their life that way too. Or let me control you, let me manipulate you. And they're not willing to see the truth that some of the people in their life are being bossy and controlling, are trying to play on an emotional connection that they have with them, even if they're just a family member or a friend, like, someone they hang out with that they can't be in a romantic relationship with. And it's just like, oh, well, you should hang out with us. You should live life like we do. I love you. I'll play on your fear and insecurity. I don't know. I don't think you should trust those people. I think those people will backstab you. Those people don't view life the way we do it. They're not motivated by the same things we are. They're going to want you to maybe stop, I don't know, wanting you to change, to be more motivated and inspired to believe in your dreams. That's foolish. You shouldn't, whatever. The list goes on. And some people realize that, until some other people work through the things within themselves and therefore the people in their life and the world at large that manipulates them, because for some it's just ego and materialism that's their drug of choice. They just kind of motivated and inspired by different things. So it's like, if that's the end all be all for you, then I hope you enjoy your life. I want a more balanced relationship with people. And I'm not going to keep indulging people who might do things that are hurtful, that might be immature, that aren't conducive to a relationship moving forward in love. Or shadowy energy, if you're not being truthful and honest and just and fair, you're kind of trying to manipulate people to get them to do what you want. And the Ten of Swords is like, I don't want to move forward with people who are strategizing about how to manipulate me to keep indulging them when they're not being open and authentic and just and fair and acting with character and integrity. So then we have the Magician card, the Six of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the reason is because of the Star card. The high vibe people have a dream and they want to manifest their dream. And they've seen the truth that if I don't want the past and my own fears and my own insecurities or my more codependent nature or my more immature indulgent nature, whatever issues I had within myself, I have to quit sabotaging myself. I need to quit hanging out with people and employment where people aren't on board with being inspired to grow and heal and mature themselves. And I need to detach from those ways of being within myself, to quit indulging my more fearful, insecure, self-limiting belief nature or indulgent nature, whatever. And to realize life's, in high vibe Sagittarius, life's an adventure to be lived. Not everything I go pursue in the world is going to work out the way I want. Not every relationship that I get in is going to work out the way I want. But am I going to give up my dreams because a relationship didn't work out? Somehow we got on different pages. Somehow Someone could have gotten more about themselves. Someone could have kind of got where they had some unresolved issues they hadn't dealt with. Whatever it is, we weren't on the same page, and I'm not going to stay feeling backstabbed and in negative energy. And sometimes we have to realize that sometimes some people do hurtful, unkind things in a relationship because they're in shadowy energy and they want us to be in shadowy energy. So then they do things, maybe backstab and betray us, won't work together with us, won't move forward with us, won't communicate with us because they want us to be in that negative energy too. Because then if we're in like competitive energy, jealous energy, feeling backstabbed and betrayed, then maybe we would be willing in our ego to do the relationship the way they want to do it. I'm in negative energy. I don't love and believe in myself. I don't want to detach from things. I don't want you to detach from things. I want you to live more from your mind than your heart because I live more from my mind than my heart. I want you to maybe stay in a relationship with me, but I want you to do it the way I want to do it, which isn't where I've got to deal with my issues, that I might have to move away from some people who I might have love for that are don't have my best interests at heart. And I want you to quit moving forward the way you're moving forward and let whatever manipulates me, which can just be the world and ego or the people in my life or my fear or my insecurity. I want you to stay in a relationship with me and let it manipulate you too. And if some of you already ended relationships with people who are like that, those people right now could be on a new journey with someone else. Oh, look, there's someone who's sad. Someone who's sad a relationship didn't work out. I'm going to go use maybe the fire energy can be, I'm going to use my charm. I'm going to use my looks. I'm going to use my sexuality, to try to get someone to get in a relationship with me. And then I hope that they won't kind of love and believe in themselves and they'll keep staying in doing a relationship like this forever, where it's really kind of more about them. And you kind of give up your dreams of being in a just and fair and loving relationship. And some of those people are trying to do that right now. And again, the same situation might play out if they're getting in a relationship with someone who might be sad that something didn't work out, but they believe in love. If they've been working on this relationship for a while, some of those people might see the truth too. I don't want to move forward with you either. I see that you're more driven by yourself. You have some issues you haven't dealt with. You have some things that I think you should become independent of that you don't seem to want to become independent of. You let the world, your ego, your fear, other people in your life manipulate you. You don't seem to be free to go on a new adventure. And if they're in a relationship with someone who they got in a relationship with someone who is more on the same page as them, well, then maybe neither one of them want to deal with their issues. And this makes logical, practical sense. They're going to move forward together because they're on the same page. So like-minded people are going to move forward because they're kind of view life the same way, motivated and inspired by the same things. The high vibe people, the more worldly focused people, the shadowy people. And then there's people that were kind of in a mismatched relationship that are seeing the truth of it. And they're kind of going their separate ways. The high vibe people believe they can manifest their dreams into reality. And they took this action because the magician is Gemini and Virgo energy. And in their Gemini energy, they've chosen to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams and see the truth that life is about growing and healing and maturing yourself. And in Virgo energy, they did the inner work to reconcile themselves with the past, to see the truth of it. Not everybody's on the same page. Not everybody has hope and faith and belief in themselves. Not everybody wants to be just and fair in a relationship. Some people like it to be all about them. And some people in their past don't want to see the truth. that they might be in a mental prison about love or believing in themselves or believing in their dreams, that they could have people in their life that try to keep them stuck and keep them up in their head in their fear and insecurity, because that's how they live their life. And then they get manipulated by those people. That can be the magician trying to manipulate people. We either see the truth, who really wants us to love and believe in ourselves and have our dreams come into reality, and who kind of settled for the illusion or whatever manipulates them, and then they try to manipulate others into living their life that way too. Man, this is living the dream. We're going indulging ourselves in these things, or we're in relationships where it's more about pride or ego. It's all about trying to manipulate and control people. You don't have to do love. There's people who will be in a relationship with you out of their own fear and insecurity. Then you don't have to do love. Won't that be great? It's kind of like you get someone who's loving to be in a relationship with you, and you get to keep being defensive or manipulative. Well, that's certainly nothing to be proud of. And I think the people who get themselves in relationships like that, where they create an illusion, I have reconciled myself with the past, and I'm hoping you don't listen to your intuition to realize I'm still in a mental prison about the past, because maybe some of those people left because I was bossy and controlling, prideful, egotistical, realized I was more about myself or more about money and materialism than love. And if they try to repeat the pattern again, a shadowy person kind of trying to manipulate a loving person, I think the whole time, because they kind of want the best of both worlds. I want to seem like I'm in this loving relationship with a loving person. I like being in relationships with loving people, but I'm defensive, or I'm kind of hide my more, that I'm more in it for the ego or the image or the status or the money. And I think the whole time they're in a relationship, they're in a mental prison, because they're always afraid that the person they're in a relationship with is eventually going to realize the truth, that this person isn't in a relationship with them for the right reason. But then they're hoping that even if the other person kind of realizes it, then the other person will kind of be in their ego about letting it go. Our worldly egoic nature is powerful. We get in a relationship where, by worldly standards, it looks like our dream came into reality. But then we realize that maybe we weren't listening to our intuition. And then we get in something, and then it's like, shit, I didn't realize that this person is more emotionally shallow or superficial. I didn't realize this person's kind of in a mental prison about love. I could have been repeating a pattern of my own. And am I willing to get out of my ego and my fears and my insecurities to move away from this relationship and not get caught up in the ego of the world that, gee, it looks like I had everything, but the person I'm dealing with, I realized, kind of created an illusion that they were willing to do deep, meaningful relationships. And I realized, because some relationships in their past didn't work out the way they wanted them to, and they didn't make peace with those things and kind of wrap their brain around it, that now I'm in a relationship with someone who I realize, has a lot of fears and insecurities, and then could be kind of bossy and controlling in the relationship, because for them, the relationship works. It's good for their ego and image, and they'd be willing to stay in it for those reasons. Or I'm a loving, nurturing person, so they want to stay in it, but they're not that type of person. And I think the high vibe people eventually get out of those relationships, and they reconcile themselves with the fact that some people had some inner work to do that they didn't do. And they did listen to their intuition. And then from the 2 to the 8 of Swords is taking back the 6 of Swords. This isn't my truth. The 6 of Swords is also Aquarius energy. I had a dream of how I thought things were going to play out. They had their own ideas of how they thought things were going to play out. But they were living more from their mind than their heart, more motivated maybe by looking a certain way, having a certain status image in the world, living more from their mind than their heart. And I thought we were going to move forward in truth and love and authenticity and clarity and justice and fairness. And we kind of have a different dream. And they could be someone also who wants, could be someone who tries to manipulate people, hoping that if they get them in the relationship, well, then even when they've, by worldly standards, it looks great and people's pride and ego gets involved, that even if they do end up seeing the truth, that they could take foolish risks in a relationship. They don't, because they take these foolish risks because of some things that didn't work out in the past, where they don't trust love. And then when the other people want to maybe move forward in a more authentic, balanced, loving, just, fair way, some of those people hide the fact that if you don't do things the way I want it and kind of indulge me in my ego, or you're no longer motivated more by the worldly dream, and you've kind of seen through the illusion of the world, and you're more about, that there's more to this life than just the ego and the image or the money or indulgence, I'm going to backstab you. I was hiding. I was quite shadowy and all about myself. Because people who are really about their ego and their image, and that's where they derive their sense of worth and value, it's all about the ego and image. And if that's how they live their life, and if they get in relationships with people who want them to heal or grow or mature themselves, they don't like you kind of illuminating the truth that, they are more about themselves or ego or materialism. And because they have a certain status or image that they like to maintain, they certainly don't want people to think that you're someone who really is who you say you are, because they're, again, probably trying to create an illusion in the world that they're like this high vibe Capricorn, bold, brave. I'm not selfish. I'm not prideful. I'm not egotistical. I look at life from a higher perspective, but it's really just all a facade they create about themselves. That's not really who they are. And then when someone comes in their life who really does look at life from a higher perspective, who does believe in their dreams, isn't about their ego and their image as much and more about love, well, then they don't like that. And you're kind of like the devil to them. You represent something that they have chosen to reject, and they don't like to see themselves as egotistical or toxic or bossy or controlling. And they don't want to do love, because with love, they run the risk of getting hurt. So then it's just like staying in denial of the truth. I don't want to move forward. I don't want to see the truth. I would have to complete a cycle. I would have to see what is toxic in my life that stops me from moving forward. And it could be there's people in my life that I could look up to and admire, and I don't want to see the truth of them. But if I were to move forward in a relationship with you and you don't live your life like that, by default, it kind of highlights the fact that some of the people I've been hanging out with aren't just and fair and inspired by love. Might be shadowy Scorpio, could be people who, again, are more emotionally shallow and superficial. And that's why some people can't move forward, because they would just have to acknowledge the truth within themselves, maybe about how they've been living their life, maybe about how some people in their life that they could love, that they could have grown up with, and they don't want to see the truth of all of that. And people are ready to see the truth and deal with the truth when they're ready to. And some of you already saw the truth about them and some of the people they maybe hung out with. And it's like, if you want to keep manifesting with people like that and being in denial of the truth that you're maybe all in a mental prison about love in the Eight of Swords, and that you've decided to make your life more about this illusion of look how wonderful our life is, and but it's not really being vulnerable and authentic, and you are kind of more emotionally shallow and superficial. I hope it works out for you. I don't want to move forward in that, so I'm not going to. But the next person they get in a relationship with might be willing to do that, and that's great. They found someone who's on the same page as them. But the high vibe people want to move forward with people who do love and believe in themselves, who have done the inner work to heal from past pain and heartbreak, to learn the lessons they were meant to learn from it, to have reconciled themselves with the past, to want to still be, being in deep, meaningful, loving relationships, and not letting your fear and insecurity and defensive nature run your life, but letting love and listening to your intuition and maintaining balance within yourself and staying focused on love. Because when you're in the Eight of Swords up in your head, you can be up in your head fearful of love, or you can give a lot of thought and attention to staying focused on love. The Eight of Swords also is Gemini energy. It's Gemini's also represented by the Lover's card, communication, but Gemini's a dualistic sign that we all have to kind of pick a side. Am I going to work more with my loving, intuitive, hopeful, believing nature? Or am I going to work with the things of the world, maybe work more from my mind and my ego? And is that how I think I can manifest my dreams into reality, or working more with things of the world instead of my more loving, intuitive, creative, inspired, hopeful, believing nature? Some people want to move forward with people who are in a mental prison about their dreams coming into reality and are willing to stay in relationships even if the people they feel manipulate them. Even if they feel these people are emotionally shallow and superficial, even if these people are in denial that maybe because they have money or status or image or power, that they're kind of think it should be their way or the highway, and that they should be able to act in these prideful or egotistical or immature or hurtful or bossy or controlling ways. But if other people are afraid that their dreams won't come into reality, if they're not in a relationship with someone who seems to have those things of the world, well, then they'll stay in those relationships with them. And they'll just keep balancing out their emotions that they feel stuck in a relationship with someone who operates more from ego, where they could have wanted a more loving relationship, and they feel manipulated and they feel like they're missing an opportunity in love, but in their ego, they're not willing to speak their truth and move away from these people. And other people didn't want to keep living their life that way, and they did move away from those people. And the high vibe people could have communicated with some people in their life that, that relationship I was in didn't work out. I've learned some valuable lessons from that relationship. I could have realized that, I maybe wasn't listening to my intuition, or, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about my truth versus their truth. And I realized that we kind of view things differently. And I realize we're not on the same page. And I'm looking for people who are on the same page as me. And I think some of those people that you could have already talked to, some of the people currently in your life, some of the people that you'll meet as you move forward, some of those people aren't going to want to move forward with you because they kind of hide that they also kind of align with either their more worldly nature, egoic nature, immature nature, live more from their mind than their heart, don't want to do, aren't inspired to put in the work to heal, to deal with their own issues that kind of block them. And then there's going to be other people who are going to do this work, and they're going to be people who want to move forward with you. And there's going to be some people who don't communicate with you because they either are trying to manipulate you, or they're in a loving relationship of their own, or a shadowy relationship of their own, or a mismatched relationship of their own. We don't really know it. You would know if the people in your life that you already know are kind of bossy and controlling and all about themselves, who live more from their mind than their heart, who have some unresolved issues, you know that. But some other people in your life, you don't know them as well to kind of know them well enough in your intuition to know where they're at. But, if people aren't taking action towards us and communicating with us that they want to work together with us, and even if some of the people who do, we just need to listen to our intuition about, because you can be moving forward kind of looking like you're going to manifest your dreams into reality, and some other people who are like, oh, well, this person doesn't seem to be indulging me enough. It would be good for my ego and image to get in a relationship with you. So then you have people like that who don't have the best of intentions that do communicate with you or that you meet in your life. And then there's other people who realize, gee, I've been in kind of a toxic relationship, and I feel like this person doesn't have my best interest at heart, is in the relationship with me for the wrong reasons. You look like someone who is on the same page as me, and those people communicate. The thing is, we live in a world of duality, and you have free will. So I think there could be different people that you're going to meet, different people who communicate with you. And now that you have learned these lessons in life, and you're kind of not, what kind of patterns of relationships and ways of being that you don't like in relationships, and you've looked at life from a higher perspective, and you've learned to listen to your intuition, that I think as you get to know people, I think you'll just be listening to your intuition about who does seem to be the people who are telling the truth, who do seem to be the people who have healed and grown and matured themselves, who seem to be the people that might be kind of immature, might be more about indulging themselves. And I think because you've learned these lessons in life, there could be different people that you're attracted to, but you've already learned that if I kind of don't listen to my intuition, which was a gift given to us, just like bats have sonar and birds and butterflies know to fly to warmer climates when the weather turns cold, our intuition was a gift given to us because we do live in this world of duality. We don't know. People can present themselves any way they want, but how do they really think and feel? What really drives and motivates them? And our intuition was given to us as a gift. And you're no longer in denial of the truth that some people do act in these shadowy ways. And that's why we had to go through some of these life experiences, because maybe we were disregarding our intuition, because we all have this aspect of self and we want what we want. And when we meet people and I want to be in a relationship or I'm attracted to this person, even if our intuition when we were younger was saying, I don't think we should do this. I don't know, this person kind of reminds me of someone that we went out with before, and you definitely shouldn't do this. We wanted what we wanted. And we kind of thought we were the boss and we could ignore our intuition. But our intuition is kind of attached to life-giving energy, which has our best interests at heart. And we've learned that if I ignore, kind of putting a stop to my more creative, inspired nature, listening to my intuition, and I think I'm the boss and I can kind of ignore that, it's probably not going to work out the way I wanted. So you've already learned that I'm going to listen to my intuition, and I'm done kind of repeating that pattern of operating, letting my ego or my lustful, greedy, kind of immature nature run my life. And I'm going to be inspired to believe in myself and believe in my dreams. And I'm going to heal from my issues of the past and start listening to my intuition. And I'm going to be patient in the Temperance card of Sagittarius to look at life from a different perspective, to expand my perception in the Hangman of myself and the world around me, to love and believe in myself, to heal myself from the past, to align with my more loving nature, And from that foundation of love, I'm going to take this cup of love that the universe is offering me to get out of my more worldly egoic nature, temper my ego, and move forward in truth and love, because I want my divine inheritance. And if I keep taking action out of pride or ego or fear or lust or greed, it means that I'm not taking action in truth and love. High vibe energy represented by God, shadowy energy represented by the devil. I'm just going to have to learn some more hard lessons. And I'm tired of learning the hard lessons. I want to live my life investing my time, energy, and effort into loving and believing in myself, offering love and compassion and forgiveness to myself and to others. And the people I want to invest my time, energy, and effort into are people who have done that same thing within themselves, who have also chosen to get out, to heal from the past, to grow and mature, to operate from a loving foundation, to treat other people the way they like to be treated, to temper their ego. It shouldn't be where the scales are tipped in their favor. We're all supposed to move forward in truth and love and justice and fairness. It's not supposed to be one person is like the indulged person in the relationship. Everybody is supposed to temper, but I wanted it more my way. It's like, well, you can have it. Just go find someone else to be your friend or to hire to work with you or to be in a romantic relationship with you. Because I'm looking for the people who've gotten out of their ego and people who do hurtful, unkind things to try to manipulate me and make me not love and believe in myself. So I do indulge them in that shadowy way of being. It's like, I'm not doing it anymore. So, what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? Well, we have a card not showing itself, and the reason it came out is because of the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, which can be people who are caught up in the illusion of themselves, of the world, of their fear, of their bossy nature, of their controlling nature, by their mind. You know, the people in the Eight of Cups don't want to live a life of illusion, and they don't want to hang around people who try to emotionally confuse them about the truth. The high vibe people are offering themselves a cup of love to become independent. They're going to the Nine of Cups, which is being emotionally independent of their own more worldly, shadowy nature. And people in their life that choose to still live their life that way, or try to hide the fact that they are in shadowy energy, but they want you to stay in denial of it and let them move forward with you anyway. It's like, no, you're an acquaintance, you're a friend, you're someone I know, but you're not someone I find emotionally fulfilling that I want to have my dreams come into reality with, because you still want to be caught up in the illusion of whatever it is you're caught up in. And you're not emotionally independent of whatever manipulates you. To have two people who are like emotionally independent, know how to fill their own cup, know how to temper their pride and ego, who can then work together cooperatively, but respect that each person is their own emotionally independent person, that the other people shouldn't try to manipulate and control, and vice versa. And I think what people don't know about you, and some people don't know how you're doing this, why aren't you being bossy and controlling? Why aren't you giving in to your ego? Why aren't you taking immature action in your life? Why aren't you trying to manipulate someone to maybe be in a relationship or friendship with you to make you look like you're a shining star, like you've moved on? It's like, because I don't want to move forward with people. I'm not in my ego. I don't want to get in relationships because of ego. I want to be in relationships and friendships and workplaces with people who I can work with in an authentic, balanced, loving way. And I'm not willing to settle for less. Where the other people, I'm sad. I want to feel better. but I'm not willing to put in the work to reconcile myself with the past and listen to my intuition. I'm in a mental prison about my dreams coming into reality. Oh, look, there's someone else who's sad. I'll go get in a relationship with them. I'll try to stop them from doing this work within themselves also, because I want them to move forward with me. And I want to repeat this pattern of way of being in a relationship. And I hope they keep staying in denial of the fact that I maybe act like I want to be just and fair and loving, but I'm fearful of maybe being hurt. And so I'm really kind of creating an illusion, and I'm really trying to manipulate people because I have a certain way I want to go about it. And it's repeating this old pattern where I don't have to deal with the truth and I don't have to look at life from a higher perspective and maybe see that I have kind of made it more about me. Because if we get in a relationship with someone and we create the illusion that it's going to be this just and fair and loving relationship, but we know we're defensive to being hurt, or we know we're prideful and egotistical and really more about ourselves or ego and image, we're lying. And that's when they're always afraid that the other person is going to see the truth, that it's more about them, their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego being indulged. And some people don't know how come you're more independent of all that shit. And part of it is because you were willing to detach from harnessing this energy in a shadowy way, and detaching and cutting people out of your life who harness that energy in a shadowy way. And you're now harnessing it in a high vibe way. The Empress, the the feminines in tarot can talk about how people think and feel. You could have been dealing with some people that in their maybe Capricorn, this is Libra Taurus, but since we're doing a Capricorn reading, in their Capricorn nature and their Libra Taurus nature of what they think is just and fair in relationships, and how they view relationships and how they view the world, because Taurus can mean all those things. They could be people who, again, think some reason they should be emotionally indulged in a relationship. They possibly, by worldly standards, could look victorious and successful in the world, or they're attractive, or they're charming, or they got social clout, whatever they got. They could, for some reason, feel like the scale should be tipped in their favor in a relationship. They could just think life's all about money and materialism, and so they don't look at life from a higher perspective. And it is more about living more from their mind, wanting to be in relationships with other people who are kind of more manipulated by the world and ego and image, who also have fears of love, who want to stay in relationships more because of those reasons. And you're like, that's fine. Go find the relationships with people that are on the same page as you. That's not how I want to live my life. It's not all about ego and money and materialism. And you're harnessing this energy in a high vibe way, harnessing high vibe Capricorn, Libra, and Taurus. I think it's just and fair that people do the work within themselves to get balance within themselves and put in work and effort to maintain balance within themselves from a place of self-love, and then be motivated and inspired by love. And you go invest your time, energy, and effort into careers and friendships and relationships with people who are loving and balanced and act with character and integrity, and put in work and effort into the things that they enjoy, that, being authentic. We all put in work and effort to have stability and security in the world and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But are we going to make that the end all be all? Where I'll move forward with people I don't even enjoy their company. I'm willing to indulge them, or I'm willing to have people stay in a relationship with me just because they're sad. And I even know they don't love me, but as long as they stay in a relationship with me and indulge me, kind of shadowy energy is either one person is indulging the other person because they don't love and believe in themselves, or They don't want to do love, or they don't want to heal. And if there's someone who's willing to move forward with them in a relationship, so it looks like they're victorious and successful, they'll keep indulging the other person, or they're both driven by ego and materialism, or whatever it is they indulge in that makes them think they're living the dream. And the high vibe people are like, that you might think that is just an abundant way of living life. I don't. And I love and believe in myself, and I'm not willing to give up my dreams. And I'm not willing to give up being emotionally independent in the world to stay in relationships with people who don't want me to listen to my intuition and believe in my dreams, because they want me to kind of make my life all about them and their dreams. Why can't I have my dreams and you have your dreams? You know? So, and I think there's other people in the world that are going to want to move forward with you. They are going to become independent of their more ego nature, fearful nature, things and people in their life in the world that manipulates them to be more independent, to expand their perception of how they believe in, how they feel about themselves and what they believe is possible, and love themselves and temper their fears and insecurities to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, just like you. What about people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Capricorn energy? What could be coming up for them that they don't see coming? And it's a process to detach from people. It takes time. There can be people, like I say, that we love them. They could be siblings, parents, friends, whatever. We wish those people would have moved forward with us, but we can't move forward with people who want to stay in denial that they're more about themselves in some way. So what do the people in more shadowy energy not see coming? Well, some of the people they were trying to manipulate and control don't want to move forward with them anymore. That could shock them. Some people right now are making a foolish decision in a relationship again. And there comes a time like Judgment Day. It comes like a thief in the night. People don't know when it's going to happen. But people eventually get tired of putting up with people who make foolish decisions in a relationship that are hurtful and unkind, and feeling backstabbed and betrayed. And there comes a point in time that they do this work within themselves to figure out, why do I keep staying in this relationship? What are my fears and insecurities that make me kind of keep indulging this person? Or why am I in denial of the truth that I offer this person love and compassion and respect, and they don't offer that back to me? And if they were motivated and inspired to, they would have by now. But apparently it's all about them. And some of those people are going to have, some people have already detached and aren't communicating with those people anymore. And other people are just telling the people, I love and believe in myself. Emotionally, I'm harnessing high vibe Leo energy to give myself the things I wish you would have given me. And out of love for myself, I'm done moving forward with you. And I am inspired to love and believe in myself. And I will work through this to get through my own fears and insecurities, to come to peace about this. I will put things in perspective. I will look at life from a higher perspective. I'm probably going to live 80 years. Do I need to be in a relationship right now? Maybe over time, as I heal and I become more emotionally detached from this people and way of living life, and I do this work to love and believe in myself, I believe that God wants me to have my dreams come into reality. And I have to put things in perspective. I don't need to be in a relationship right now. I don't need to be in a relationship anytime in the near future. I can use my creative inspired nature, like my life force energy, which is like our sexual nature. I can use that energy to heal and put in work and effort into the things that motivate and inspire me in my career. I can channel that energy into other things and becoming more independent in the world and expanding my perception of myself in the world. And I believe as I do that, because life is about learning lessons, as I do that and I detach from the past, I believe I'll be ready to give birth to something new emotionally, which is what the Empress is about. And I believe God will provide that next opportunity for me that's on the next step of my path of learning lessons in life, because I emotionally detach from an old way of living life and viewing life and certain ways of living my life and people that I might have been living that life with to become independent of it. Some of those people will move forward with me, some of those people won't. And then it shows that I'm ready for the next phase of life. And it's like, bring on the next lesson, God. I have no interest in living my life like that again, or being in relationships or workplaces with people who are like that. And when we go to like the next level of life, if you were to look at life as a video game, there's going to be new challenges on the next level, which will bubble up fears and insecurities within us that we've got to face. And the high vibe people are willing to face those new things. The other people are just either happy the way they're living their life, not maybe motivated and inspired to step out of their comfort zone and face their fears and insecurities of going to the next phase of life. We all like to stay in our comfort zone. We like to stay with the devil we know, then face the devil we don't know. And the high vibe people are willing to cut the devil out of their life that they knew. And it's like, nope, I'm moving on. I will face my fears and insecurities because you have shown me the truth that you're not just and fair and balanced and authentic and loving and warm and giving and supportive and encouraging in relationships. So I wish you peace with whoever you next get in a relationship with, but I'm leaving. And some of them could be shocked that some people loved and believed in themselves to move on because they've never done that within themselves. Whatever it is that manipulates and controls them, the people in their life, the world at large, it keeps manipulating and controlling them. Another thing they might not see coming is there might be someone who does want to be in a relationship with them. If it's someone else who is sad, that's motivated by love, who's going to be the next person to try to get them to love and believe in themselves, this whole scenario could play out again. For some, they did get in a new relationship. They could be thinking right now of ending that relationship because that person also wants them to reconcile themselves with the past and become more independent of their more worldly nature or people in their life that kind of they have like a primary loyalty to. But if you're going to get in a relationship with someone and you create the illusion anyway that you are going to be my top priority because you're the people I am in a loving relationship with, that I can create a family with, but it's just an illusion. I really have these other people in my life that I'm unwilling to become independent of. And some people that are gotten those new relationships with people are going to have to end it because the other people want them to move forward again. It's like, shit. For others, they might have someone in their life who is on the same page as them. I'm more about shadowy Leo energy. I'm more about ego. I'm looking for someone to get in a relationship with who also likes to live more from their mind, who also likes to create this illusion of what a wonderful life we have. And we're in a relationship because we both don't want to do love, or we both have a lot of fears and insecurities, basically on the same page, And then if that's the case, they're willing to detach from maybe some of them willing to detach from a Capricorn who, or people in their life who were an option as being kind of aligned with the world, but now they found someone else in Leo energy who is kind of aligned with their worldly nature. They don't have to be a Leo sun sign, but is willing to kind of move forward with them in a different way. but kind of the same way. And, they're going to be in a relationship with someone else who is happy to maybe be in a relationship with them because neither one of them want to take the cup of love to temper their ego. And they're both more motivated by looking like a shining star in the world. So, high vibe people are looking for other enlightened people who've gotten out of their ego, who believe in themselves and believe in their dreams and building a relationship based on love. And the other people could be trying to move forward in a relationship where just people maybe just don't even know the truth of who they are yet. And until they do, they're going to indulge in the relationship. And if the person ever does start to see through the illusion of who these people are and realize it might be more about them and their ego and their image or money or materialism or pride or ego, codependency, they're hoping that once that person does see the truth, that they'll just stay in it because of the ego and image. And then they'll both maybe feel stuck in a relationship. And they both might not be willing to offer love to the relationship anymore. And they both might, though, in their ego, keep moving forward with it. The Lover's card used to be called the choice card, so I kind of view that as optional. So they had the free will choice to operate more from their egoic nature than their more loving nature. And if they find people who are on the same page as them, it's just, it's settling more for the worldly dream instead of them being more emotionally independent in the world to have more authentic, deep, meaningful relationships with people. So, and the other people are going for the real deal. So there you go, Capricorn energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.